Welcome back to the program Conversations with Zelisa. In conversation with Brittany Williams, founder of Baca. She's the CEO and founder of Baca, which is a non-profit organization. Whitney Williams, welcome back to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Great. You're more than welcome. I'm happy we've got the situation sorted. I humbly apologize for any inconveniences caused, but we're back on track now. And I want to talk a little bit about Out of the Dark into the Light. This is a book that you're working on, and it's about domestic violence. Give us a little insight.
Okay, well, yes, this book that I'm writing is, I will describe it as my ventilation, right? And to get in depth into the book is obvious. I have been living in this situation, in darkness, and now that I am out, I say it is the time to write my story. Out of the darkness into the light.
Brittany, what I love about this is that you've taken something very dark and very negative, and you've been strong enough to tell yourself, I'm going to take this and turn it into something positive, turning this into something that could help inspire and motivate individuals in that situation.
Yes, yes. So that is the main purpose of the book, you know, to let persons know that you are not alone. You know, sometimes when you're facing the situation at the time when you're in it, you feel like it's you alone. And this is the purpose of the book, to let you know, hey, I was there before, and I take my story and bring it up positive, but it only happened by the grace of God.
Great. Let's talk about some of the experiences that you've had.
Well, from a child growing up, you know, my father, he died. I never met him. I don't know him. I will hear a lot of stories about him, you know, but to say had that bond, we never made it. My mom, she lives in the States. So at a young age, she left Trinidad and went. And it's obvious she'll leave me with the family members who she trusts.
Right.
And that was the time my life started to change, you know. It went from bad to bad, to describe it. You know, at a young age, when you look up to persons who you trust, who you consider as mommy and daddy, because your mom physically can't be there. And when she left, I actually had the opportunity to visit the States with her. But due to work in the US, keeping a child, if you don't have any help, is hard. So she ended up sending me down to Trinidad, back to Trinidad. And I end up with my relative, and it went south. It went south in the sense of I was restricted to do certain things, and it had other kids in the house. I wasn't really able to speak. You know, I didn't have a voice. I had to wait. If I have to eat, I have to fight to eat. Clothes were thrown away. Sometimes my mom sent barrel. I am not getting what she sent. You know, and the sad story about it is that when she called to find out how am I going, how everything, I will be on the phone and I'll be talking to her, and it had someone there threatening me to say that everything is okay. So at that age, I didn't have a voice. Even if I wanted to, I was not allowed to speak based on what taking place in the house. You know, and it had a nearby neighbor who was my rescue. And it had many times when I finished school, you know, I will end up there, and the granddaughter and I become best friends, where when she have food, she will leave food for me, separate, you know, and I used to eat. And I thank God for them today, because don't care how far where I reach, I always look back to the Hope family. I always look back to them to say thank you.
They were like a bright light that came into your path. You know, I'm
Yes, there
feeling a bit
was.
emotional hearing your story because in some situations, you know, people leave their kids not because they want to leave them, because they feel they have to make a better life. They've got to make sacrifices to
Yeah.
open, to plant a seed, to work to get money to help their children. And in the end, they entrust their children with people whom they trust and they feel will take care of them and give them the best. And that's far from the truth in some cases. And unfortunately for you, you've had that experience where you get bad treatment. You know,
Yes,
you
I
were
did.
treated less than
Yeah.
who you were. You were not given what your mother worked hard for and would probably send and made the sacrifice to send for you, and you did not benefit from it in any way, but it brought a lot of hurt. Now,
Yes.
domestic violence, I want you to talk a little bit about that and the experience. You shared the bad treatment as a child, but talk to us about when you talk about domestic
Domestic.
violence, how did that happen in your life?
Okay. Well, I will start off by saying verbal abuse is as bad as any type of abuse. You know, standing and telling someone that they're not capable of, or they ugly, they would never amount to anything, they are a black sheep. All these things are very bad. Um, but domestic, in my situation, came that the relative that I were in the house with at one time will hold me and beat me consistently, that I will blank out, end up in the hospital and don't know where I am. And it's same thing repeat itself, that when my mom called, I was in the hospital and I had to lie and say that I am home resting, I'm tired. And in that she don't know that I am in a hospital bed, beaten, that they told me that my rib cage was fractured, and this is an adult, and two kids at that time hold me and beat me. Someone who I consider as a mother to me, you know, and these things is bad, you know, because she didn't know. And even in my old age now, when we speak of these things, she will break down. She'll say, I really didn't know, you know. And I mean, sometimes I blame her, I'm being honest, because as a parent, I am a parent today, and I don't even allow my son to stay over a night. No way. You know, I don't allow him to go no way. If I'm there, okay, or his dad, and that's it. We don't allow him to go anyway because of what I have been through, right? Also, by when I grew, because of not knowing what is love and trying to encounter or look for love, I end up running into wrong relationship.
Yeah.
And the same thing repeats itself. I was attracted to that, and I was beaten. I was thrown in a drain. And when I reached home, to be honest, how they really didn't had any care for me. They did not notice. My whole clothes, everything they torn up, purse ripped down, and I passed in, I say goodnight, and no one noticed. It's only when the police get involved, they had no.
I girl, God is with you.
Thank you.
What do you want to say to Trinidad and Tobago?
I will tell them what I used to tell myself at a young age. Since I was 14, I was out there in the public working. Obviously, I had to lie to say that I was older because I always had this big, mature, you know, size, and also I move around very mature, so they never could have guessed my age. But I will say to any young lady or man or whoever you be out there looking on, trust in God, keep faith, because I could tell you this now before I didn't know it my own self. And if God before you, who could be against you? Who? No one. And what he say, you are to encounter, it will be for you. Don't care how they try to take it away or remove you or whatever they try to do or to tarnish your name. What is for you will be for you. And I
How
walk with that.
how did you realize that with God all things are possible? How did you realize that your foundation and your anchor had to be strong and grounded in full faith and trust in God? What was it that influenced you to understand the power and greatness of God in order to succeed?
Well, what influenced me was that well, today I have a fiance. We was friends before, but let me go a little more before I met him,
Sure.
right? Um, I used to go in the church, the same family members, the Hope family, who
Right.
I engage
Who
with
rescued
being
you, as we could
around a
say?
lot. Yes, who rescue me, right? The grandmother, which is Miss Louise, Tanty
Bless her.
Louise, I'm calling her name. Um, she invited me. She wasn't really able to go, but she used to attend a church and she said, Brittany, I think you should go. I keep hearing, I think you should go. And I
How
don't
old were
want to
you then,
go because
Brittany? How old were
that
you when you
could have
first went to
been,
church?
well, I go into church since young, but I wasn't going to Pentecostal church. I used to attend Catholic.
Okay.
And when she invited me to the church, that was could have been when I was working around 14 years. And when I went in, the message where they preach, I break down. Start to cry, I cry. I couldn't keep myself up because of the words, what they say, and they were speaking to me, and they're saying whatever you're facing at home and all these words to uplift you. Don't give up. Keep faith. If God be for you, who could be against? And from that day when I left church, I had that scripture written up on the mirror in the bathroom, by the bedside table, everywhere that I know I go every day in the house. I had it written, and sometimes they will see it and they will rip it down. But I always kept that word in me until I learned that I know how to say it for my own self. That I don't need to write it no way. It's in me, it grounded in me. And that was the time I hold on to faith and start to move in that direction. Also, around that time, because of the time I was working, I used to reach home sometime 2:30 in the morning, right? A young child, 14-year-old, going up the area which part I am. And one night Friday morning, I get hold up, a gun to my head.
Lord.
And the words was spoke was, if you don't give up yourself, we will have to do what we do because you don't see our face. And I stood there and I said, listen, you go ahead because I'm walking with God this morning. And I was frightened. I was shake up, but I had to stand by the word. If God be for me, who could be against me? And I'm being honest to you. One of them pull the trigger and you hear the clip, clip, clip. It never went off. And when I reached up the hill is when I heard they let go 4 of the shots. And I live today to tell that story.
It's a powerful story. You know, I'm sure there are lots of people that are looking at this show this morning and they're saying, I understand exactly what's going on because that's what I'm living. And I trust and hope that they'll get the message that they need to stand firm and not allow the situation to get the better of them, to pull them down, but rather to be strong and fight the battle full force in order to
Yes.
succeed, in order to have growth, and to become like you. Because you took every negative thing that came your way and you were able to transform that to help save people. I admire
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And there are
It's
people
not easy.
right now who are in that storm, the middle of that storm, the middle of that battle, and they're probably crying, and their heart is aching, and they probably hate God. Why are you doing this to me? Why am I the black sheep? Why my mother had to leave me? Why my father have to beat me? Why I didn't have to have a father? Why I have to get into a relationship that I get in licks morning, noon, and night? But
Yeah.
with every struggle, with every challenge, you should take that, learn from it, become stronger, become wiser, and continue to fight the battle.
Yeah. Yes, that's absolutely true. And I would just like to read a little piece of what I put in the
Yes,
book
what we're going to
that
expect
I'm
from this book.
writing.
Exactly. I'm excited already
Yeah.
to read this book.
Right. So it's a little piece, but I always every page have a message. And as I said before, that even the preschooler could read this book because I believe in coming down to meet people and let them come up, rise up with you. That is my method of life, right? So the little piece I'll give you is God plan is always the best. The process is painful and hard, but don't forget that when God is silent, He is doing something for you. If God be for you, who could be against you?
With God, all things are possible, girl. You know,
Amen.
it's within the storm and it's within the battle that we know who are the angels and we know who are the true warriors that will stand with us. We are able to define the truth from lies. It was in the storm and the battles that we find and recognize how strong we are, because it's then we've got to
Yeah.
persevere. It is within the storms that we need to understand that there is a master plan. You know, and that door is going to open only if we let go, leave the baggage behind, let it be. The attitude is out with the old and in with the new, because you can't change your hurt, you know. You can't change the past.
That's
You
true.
can't go back and erase it. You've already lived it.
Yeah.
But if we hold
Yeah.
on to it and we bring it here with us, it's going to block the blessings that are there for us. It's going to block the
Yes.
gift, the door that's going to open with that master plan that God has designed for us.
Yes,
Isn't that the truth?
absolutely.
Woman to woman, isn't it
It
the
is.
truth?
It is the truth. And also it have well it listen, Mr. Lisa, as soon as this book done, I will personally call you to get one. Because
No,
it
you're coming on the program with me and we're going to dissect and talk about this, because I believe it's women like you who can help women around the world find themselves, that understand that they're beautiful and they are a child of God and they deserve more. They deserve the best.
yeah,
You know,
they
and we can
do.
take
They
that
do.
situation and help it to help them be better. You follow?
Yes. Yes.
What would be your
So
closing
it
remarks
also
for today?
well, before I would just say that it also have a part in the book, and I did that, as I say, as a ventilation to vent and to get over. It also have a part where, there, my abuser, I forgive you. So after this book is closed, and not after, it's already done, I have forgiven everyone who have been involved, and I thank them because of where I am today, right? So on my closing, I would like to, thank everyone for or who have been there, who know the story, who know it well to the back of their head, because I have a lot of persons who have been witnesses to my growing up in the area. They know,
Girl,
right? You know yourself. So I would like to thank them. And I would like to thank the Baca team and also my newly formed husband, Mr. Dazzle. I would like to thank him for always supporting me, and he came in and he experienced some of what I have been facing, and he said, you know
Bless
what,
you, darling.
enough
You
is
see,
enough.
God sent the right person at the right time, right? May God bless you. May
Yeah.
that bright light shine in your path, and I'm sure we'll have much more conversations with you, darling. You be good
Yes.
and
Thank
continue to be
you.
strong and
Okay.
continue to be the light that you are. All the best. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mr. Lisa.
You're
Okay.
welcome, darling. All the best. So, I just want to remind each and every one of you, I'm here today. This program is mine. I'm the executive producer, and I'm the host of this program. It belongs to me exclusively. You know why? Because doors were closed on me. Because I got a lot of no's. But God had a master plan. Keep smiling, be positive, and know the best is always yet to come. All right? Respect the law of the land and just have a nice positive attitude towards things. Let go, let it be. And you'll see that door will open. There is always a master plan. Thank you so much. We've got repeats of the program today at 3 o'clock and at 4 a.m. tomorrow. And, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Please like it and share it. It's great information. And just know that you're really special. I am Zalisa Budu Singh Rupani. Thank you so much for choosing us.